Hello and welcome to episode 95 of the Disney Park Princess podcast. I'm your co-host, Sara.
I'm Sharla.
And I'm Heather.
And thank you so much for joining us this week. We are going to be talking about a topic that was actually suggested by one of our listeners, Kyle. Kyle is also the moderator in our Disney Park Princess Facebook group. So we thought this was a great topic. And in fact, it's a series, and you know we love a series. Content for days. So this week we are going to be talking about our top 3 favorite attractions in the Magic Kingdom. So that's what we've got going on. But first of all, we've been off for a couple of weeks. How are you guys? I haven't seen you in so long.
I know.
Same old.
I have a crazy story to tell. And it's a little bit embarrassing, but I'm going to tell it anyway because I find myself amusing. The other night, I decided I needed to take a shower before bed. And then I spent about 10 minutes debating with myself if I wanted to wash my hair or not. Because
that's a serious debate in my house. I get it.
My reasoning was I didn't want to go to bed with wet hair. And it took me a good 15 minutes to realize I have a hair dryer. I can actually do something about it. It's been so long since I've used the hair dryer.
You don't have to go to bed with hair wet.
Exactly. So I did wash the hair. But I mean, that's how long it's been since things have been normal, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I have sort of a you guys have heard this story, but they haven't. So I, inspired by Heather's Earl of Sandwiches, decided, encouraged by the two of them, by the way, to take a road trip to Boston for Earl of Sandwich. Now, Boston's about just under 2 hours away from me. So it's not like a crazy road trip or anything, but it was literally the first time I crossed a state border since February. And I did not realize how badly I needed to go somewhere.
Yeah, you have to
anywhere.
Go away.
Yeah, I needed to go anywhere. Please understand, I was out of the car a maximum of 30 minutes. A maximum of 30 minutes. We drove to Boston. I piled my husband and my reluctant teenage son in the car. We stopped in Worcester really briefly to just drive around a couple college campuses because
Hold on. I'm sorry. I feel like you didn't say that correctly. I'm going to need that full accent to come out there because in this house, you can't say Worcester without saying it in a Massachusetts accent.
Worcester.
Thank you.
And we stopped in Worcester and to drive around a couple of college campuses. Better.
Yes. Oh, it feels like the ginger's in the room with me.
I'll go back to my normal Connecticut accent now. So yes, we stopped in Worcester and looked at a couple of college campuses. And when I say stopped and looked, I mean drove slowly. We didn't get out, Continued on to Boston, parked directly underneath the Earl of Sandwich, which is, by the way, not even like a full restaurant. It's a kiosk.
Where
it's an
is
outdoor.
it in Boston?
It's right smack in Boston Commons.
Okay. Yes, I saw it when I was there.
It's literally just like a little freestanding thing with 2 windows. And, we had ordered our stuff ahead of time. We had ordered online. So we got out. There was nobody there. We were the only people there. In fact, there was actually nobody in the kiosk when we first got there. The person that was working there had stepped out for a second or something. So I had like a mild, tell me I didn't drive 2 hours to find out that it's not open, but it was open. We got our sandwiches. The owner, who was the only guy working there, was super, super sweet. And yes, looked at me a little strange when I explained that we had driven all the way from Connecticut for sandwiches. And he was like, oh, so you're touring Boston? And I was like, no.
No, we came for a sandwich.
We're here for the sandwiches. So, super nice. Got sandwiches, brought some to take home. I had come prepared. I had an insulated bag. I had ice packs. I was ready. And basically did nothing but eat turkey sandwiches until yesterday. So it was.
See nothing wrong with that.
It was fantastic. It was fantastic. But literally, I did not, other than the person who handed me my sandwich, I did not come within 10 to 15 feet of another human being the entire time. And yet, it was the most exciting thing that's happened in months.
Because there's something other than your yard and your four walls that you were looking at. It's the greatest feeling. Even when I take the dogs to the beach here, it's like I just go and sit on the sand and by myself under an umbrella for an hour. And it's like, I am reborn. I feel so alive.
Yep. Yeah. Literally just sitting at that little table and we were behind the little kiosk or whatever. There was nobody at any other tables near us. Even just the act of sitting outside in a state that is not the one I live in was the most thrilling thing I've done, and I can't recommend it enough. So, whatever you got to do to get your little Disney fix, however you can.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. So, and it reminded me of Sharla's one-day trip to Disney that she was telling us about on the Patreon Extra a couple of weeks ago. So it was a much smaller version.
Yeah.
A much smaller version. But
well, my husband said that he keeps checking IKEA to see if they are open in Atlanta for pickup. And I thought, we could stop and roll a sandwich if we did that.
Yes, and you should.
Yeah. Yeah. If it's open. I didn't even check or anything because I don't want to get my hopes up,
Yeah. I get it. All right. So let's get into today's topic. Coming up, our top 3 favorite attractions at the Magic Kingdom and your top 3 favorite attractions at the Magic Kingdom, because we did a poll. Pause for music. All right. So let's get into it. What do we want to talk about first? Do we want to talk about the poll results, or do we want to talk about our personal favorites?
Let's talk about our personal favorites first.
Okay. I feel like you were both about to say different answers.
I was going to say we should do the poll and be like, okay. Does it really matter though? No, whatever.
Well, if we wait another 20 minutes, then there might be
that's what I was thinking. Yes, the poll is still live. So I'll leave it up. I'll come back to it. All right. So we decided to start with the Magic Kingdom because that is typically where we start these types of series. It was the original park. It only seems fair, even though it isn't actually our favorite park. Our favorite part is Epcot, but
generally my favorite park is the Magic Kingdom if I'm at the Magic Kingdom. But if I'm at Epcot, I'm like, oh, this is my favorite park. But if I'm at Magic Kingdom, I'm like, that's my favorite park. So
yeah. At this point, whatever park I got to go to would be my favorite.
Yeah.
So I'm not inclined to be picky right now. Yeah. All right. So who wants to go first? What is your, in no particular order, favorite Magic Kingdom attraction?
Well, I have an actual favorite, like in an order. Number 1 will always be my favorite, and that is Splash Mountain. In its current iteration, mind you, because I love the music and I just love bopping along to it. I don't particularly like to be wet, so I don't know why this has always been my favorite attraction. But I mean, since the 90s, I have adored Splash Mountain more than anything. I love it deeply. It's just something about the song, and it makes me feel really happy.
Yeah. Understood. All right. Sharla, how about you?
Well, because she said it is on my list, and it is my favorite as well, Splash Mountain. I am apprehensive yet excited to see the changes that they're going to do to it. However, the reasons that I love it now, I love the music. I love the fact that it's not just a drop. It's not just a drop. It has like 4 or 5 different iterations of drops, so they're all different.
Yeah.
And every room is different that you go into, and the different features when the water kind of shoots across you and you think it's going to hit you and it doesn't. And it's just really, really fun, and it's happy, and I totally get why they're changing it, and I'm on board with that. I will miss the way it is, but I'm excited to see what they do.
Yeah. It's not on my list, actually, although the one thing I'm really going to miss, my favorite part of that ride, is when you pass the birdhouse, and if you listen closely, you can hear the birds singing the song. I don't know why I love that so much, but I just love it so much. So I'm hoping that they might leave.
They're going to have to leave something
nods to it,
like little nod, like maybe, some of the creatures stay in the bayou. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we haven't really talked about the changes that they're going to make to it. So if you don't know, they are changing Splash Mountain over to a Tiana, Princess and the Frog themed ride, which again, I think is fantastic. Tiana should have a ride. It's great. It doesn't go with the theming in Frontierland, I don't think, because it's New Orleans. That's where she lives. But
it depends on what your definition of the frontier is. I don't know that the Deep South is the frontier either.
No,
Splash Mountain was also the Deep South. It just was specifically New Orleans. So it's the same geographical area. I don't know why people are getting upset about that.
That makes sense. I guess because I don't think of Splash Mountain, the ride, is in the Deep South, because it is like
how they made it look.
100% the story is, and that's the whole problematic part of it. But it's the way it looks and stuff looks frontierish to me.
Yeah.
They did a good job with that. So you're right. But I trust Disney to do an excellent job with it. I don't know when it will be done. I don't know if they even
it's
know.
going to be a
they've
while
announced
now
that,
because
yeah.
they they can't construct anything.
Right.
I do know that when this was announced, it kind of came on the heels of the big social movement. But my friends are Imagineers that are working on it, and they've actually been talking about this and designing it for a better part of a year.
Yeah.
So this Disney has been planning this for over a year, and then they just kind of made the announcement at that point in time.
Yeah. Understandable. Yeah. No, I think this is something that they've known they needed to do. It wasn't a surprise to them that they needed to make this change. I think they knew.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that because it looks Frontierland to me.
Yes,
but
and
it's not.
It just made me laugh because everybody had the same reaction you did, and I was like,
yeah.
The stories are set in the same basic geographic location. I don't understand the problem. But you're right. Visually, because it's next to Big Thunder Mountain and it's in a place called Frontierland, there's a sort of weird dichotomy there that, yeah. Anyway.
And animated parts of the movie don't feel in the same way as the live action parts. So it's
right.
I just need them to make it believable that we're going on a drop. Like, what does Tiana have to do with me being flung down a mountain type of situation? So I need that story to be authentic. I need it to not feel like I need them to be Disney 30 years ago and not Disney right now, where we just like put a princess on it and who cares, and story doesn't need to make sense. Like if you've read the tales that Splash Mountain is based on, like, and if you listen to the story in the queue, that Brer Rabbit is being chased, and he gets finally caught, and they fling him down the mountain, but then he escapes because that's where he lives anyway, in the Briar Patch. And so it kind of all made sense as to why you were going on this wild little flume ride. I need that to happen.
Yeah.
With Princess and the Frog, or I'm not going to enjoy it. Like, don't just give me some Princess and the Frog music, which is fantastic, and then Princess Tiana and expect me to be like, okay, this is a good replacement.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that within the movie that there are sort of moments of peril and moments where people get, sort of dropped off things and flung off things, especially in the bayou. And if you think about the way Disney takes things down to scale, there are times where as frogs, they get sort of, so I'm hopeful, but we'll see.
We don't know.
We'll see. We don't know. Yeah. All right. My favorite, and this is in no particular order because I really just had a hard time picking is Haunted Mansion, I think. Yeah. My first favorite is Haunted Mansion because it's just such a Disney classic and it's such an immersive, and I feel like the cast members at Haunted Mansion and Tower of Terror, the cast members just get so into their roles. It's fantastic because it really sets the tone before you ever even enter the building. And so that level of detail, it's so Disney to me. And I don't feel like I've been to the Magic Kingdom if I haven't ridden the Haunted Mansion.
I think most people feel like that. Like I wouldn't say Haunted Mansion is my favorite ride, but it's among my favorite rides. Yeah. And it's hard to not love it. It's a classic, like you said, but it doesn't feel like it's 60 years old. You know what I mean?
It never feels dated. It never feels, it is timeless, I feel. Yeah. And they do update it periodically, which I appreciate. And they've added, some great effects. They've added some effects that I really hate. Just going to put that out there. Overall, I'm looking at you, the bride. Overall, though, I think they just do a really good job of keeping it sort of fresh and spooky, but not
terrifying. Yeah. Like just enough to like give you an edge.
Yeah. Can we agree that the attic is fantastic?
I love the attic.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love the bride. But I love Halloween. I love to be scared. I love to watch horror movies. Like, I think the bride is done. I don't think so. I love her.
She doesn't look anything like those portraits.
Always off, like a little
she doesn't look anything like those portraits of Constance.
Maybe I just don't ride the one in Florida enough because I was it's the same one here, and it's
the Disneyland
fantastic.
One is different. Yeah, the Disneyland one is different.
It's the same scene. It's the same scene, the same effects, but I don't know. I don't have a problem with it. I think it looks great.
Oh, I hate the bride. I love the attic. I love the portraits. I love that, and then they get to this weird projection mapping thing, and it's just off enough that it makes my brain hurt.
Since the projection mapping is so much better now, maybe on the next update they'll fix it.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. Okay, all right, what's next?
All right, your turn, Heather.
Oh, me. Gosh, what else is on my list? I love the teacups, and I know that I'm in a
Of course.
minority of that, obviously because it's Alice in Wonderland. But I loved them always growing up. I don't have motion sickness, so that the spinning never bothered me. It's just something about flying around, and like I love the scrambler too when I go to the county fair type of thing. But the reason I love the teacups now is because that was Copley's favorite ride.
Oh.
At Disneyland, Disney World, he has a separate favorite ride, and when we get to that park, I will tell you all about it. But like, I loved riding the teacups with him because we wouldn't spin it; it would just go, and he would just spend his whole time looking, watching at people as he go, and I just have very good memories. It's like he was like my child, so for me that was fun riding with him.
It's a great ride, and it's another one that I think it's just timeless, right?
It's so simple. There's nothing special to it, but you have the happy, Mad Tea Party music, and it's a fun time.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
All right, Sharla, how about you? What's next?
Well, I had Haunted Mansion on my list, but we talked about that quite a bit. So I'm going to go with my next one, which is Peter Pan's Flight. Love that ride. I love it in every theme park that it's in. It is different in some way in all of the parks that it's in. It's a crazy long line every time. I don't know why, but it is like one of the very few rides that I will wait in line for. Plus, the new queue is unbelievable. But I will wait in line for Peter Pan's Flight at Disney World, at Disneyland, Disneyland Paris. I made you guys wait because I love it so much.
That ride, no matter what theme park it is in around the world, every single park has like an hour-long wait at least.
Yeah.
Every time.
I don't know what it is about that. It's just one
park.
of those, the way they load it, I think is,
well,
there's
it's
no way to
interesting.
speed it up really.
But yeah, because so at Walt Disney World, it has the constant moving thing, the Omnimover type thing, and it has the moving sidewalk. At Disneyland, they stop it, and you get, each one is individual, and they stop them. It doesn't matter; it's still a long line.
Still a long line.
And I love it. I love it so much. It's so fun. Peter Pan is not even one of my favorite classic movies. I just love it.
And you hate Tinkerbell, so.
And
yeah.
I do hate Tinkerbell.
Yeah.
But maybe that's another topic for another day. But on why I hate Tinkerbell. But
it's Patreon extra.
Sure.
But
anyway,
about Tinkerbell.
Yeah. But I love that attraction. It's great. And if you haven't been on it in a long time, or if you haven't been through that interactive nursery, I highly recommend you do that.
Yeah. I hadn't been on it in years. And then I think Sharla made me go on it on a recent trip. And I was like, this is the best thing ever. How have I been missing
really
How have I
cute.
been missing this?
Yeah.
Oh, cute.
It's really cute.
Yeah. Super, super, super cute. Okay. My next one is Space Mountain. I love Space Mountain. I love it more at some parks than others, but I love it at any park I can ride it. I don't know why it's not a super fast. It's just the combination of it's like just fast enough combined with the fact that you're in the dark to feel more thrilling than it really is. It's super bumpy, and I know, like, I'm 46. I know in a few years I'm going to really hate it. But right now I can still ride it and not feel like I want to die when I get off. So, plus I just giggle ridiculously through the whole thing. I just get tossed around. You get almost feel like you're getting thrown out of your seat a little bit, which I love. I just think it's fun. I just think it's so much fun, and I love every iteration of it.
See, I didn't put this on my list for Magic Kingdom because we're doing our favorite rides in the Magic Kingdom. And like I go on it and I have a great time, and I'm not going to not go on it, but I certainly prefer it much better at Disneyland. And I say what you will, Walt Disney World veterans, if you've not ridden the version in California, you absolutely must, because it's just a billion times better. It's smoother. There's a soundtrack. So for me, like, it doesn't compare, and I will go on the one in Florida, but I don't love it.
Yeah.
I can't do the one in Florida. It gives me too much of a headache. But the other ones around the world that I have been on, love them. So
yeah,
I've done it too many times, and the last time I did it was because I was with somebody, they were like, they really wanted to go, and I said, okay, I'll do it. And then I was like, I can't, never again. It just makes me too ill. So.
Yeah.
I love the idea of it and all that. I just can't do it.
I just love it. I do miss the like on the exit, remember there used to be like all of those like scenes. Like I miss the
Yes.
FedEx, but I still miss the corporate sponsorships to some degree at Disney. Like I miss like the FedEx sponsorship that they had with the little scenes as you went on over. So I miss those, but I just love it. I love it. All right, number 3, Heather, what's up?
Oh, we're only on number 3. I feel like I've said like 7, but I haven't. I'm just saying, oh, I like yours too. I'm going to go with the Jungle Cruise. This is not something that I ride all the time, and I don't know why. Like maybe I don't want to wait in the line, or maybe it's just so humid out that I'd rather go somewhere inside. But every time I ride the Jungle Cruise, I adore it. It's so kitschy, and if you have a bad skipper, you're not going to have the greatest time. But when you get that skipper that is on point with the jokes, and they're making some of their own jokes that aren't on script, it's like the cheesiest dad joke filled 20 minutes you could possibly have.
When you get a skipper that gives you a joke that you've never heard before, do you not just want to be like,
yeah, I'm like, I just want
to stand up and applaud when you have a joke I haven't heard before. It's my favorite.
And I really try to get into it because I think that you have the most fun if you are into it. Yeah. So I will clap for the backside of water
every time.
If they would let me stand up and give it a standing ovation, I totally would. But it's so ridiculous, but yeah, awesome.
Which is the point, and I just adore that. Like, why can't you just be cheesy sometimes?
Yeah. Also, probably one of the best cues.
Yes. But only if you pay attention to it. You got to pay attention.
If you pay attention. Yeah.
And one of the things about that I love is I know that the queue has been updated, but it's not one of those new interactive queues. That queue has been around for a really long time.
They've added a few things to it over the years, but in general,
it's always been a fun queue.
Yeah. Like when they make it Jingle Cruise, though.
Right, I love
the Jingle Cruise. It's so great.
The jokes are different, and the Jingle Cruise, they're all Christmas themed or holiday themed.
Put a Santa hat on everything that will stay still.
It's fantastic.
So things that don't stay still. Yeah, I just love it.
Tinsel everywhere and all the Christmas. I mean, how can you not love that? I think it's great.
Fantastic. It's so good. Yeah, that's a good one.
And I also like it. You just sit down for 20 minutes. You don't have to move. It's like just so peaceful and real. I love it.
Yeah. It would. It's near the top of my list, but the only thing keeping it off is the tunnel scene creeps me out. Too many creepy crawly things. But for that, All right, Sharla, what's up? What's your number 3?
I wish I knew what was on your list because I'm down to 2 that I want to talk about.
Oh, I bet you know what's on. I bet you know what's on my list.
All right, I'm going to say Pirates of the Caribbean is my next. It's not on your, okay.
Nope. All right. You're fine. You're safe.
All right. And I know for sure that the next one is not on your list, but Pirates of the Caribbean, I have to ride it every time I go. It is one of those must-do attractions, no matter what. Again, any theme park that it's in, which has been into all 4 places around the world that I've been, I love it in every place. I love to see the differences. I love it after they put Jack Sparrow in and Captain Barbossa. But even if he's not in there, like in Tokyo, he's not in there. I don't think he's in there in Paris, but maybe he is. I don't remember. But I don't care. I love it. I love all the pirate scenes that they do. I love the song, which is crazy because I hear it all the time on the Disney Hold music, and same with Haunted
You'd think we'd be sick of it.
Anytime Pirates comes on, I love it. I've learned all the words over the years because they change and they're a little bit different. So just writing it, you're not going to get them, but hearing it on hold on repeat, you get them. I duck every time you go under there's a bridge and there's a man with a filthy, dirty foot hanging off it. And I'm like gross every time. And I move it.
Yep. I do it every time.
Yeah.
What?
One time I was stuck for 2.5 hours under that pirate's foot.
Oh no. My gosh, you must have been filthy.
No. 2.5 hours. Let me tell you, the detail on that pirate's leg hairs is incredibly impressive. Yeah. I know because I got to look at it for so long, but then the music cut out and it was just like I don't want to call it background noise, but like the audio tracks of the pirates. So I got to hear all their conversations and what they're screaming and yelling. That was a long 2.5 hours.
Oh.
Well, another thing I love about it is, in the past year and a half, they changed the auction scene. So they're no longer auctioning off women. They're auctioning off some of the loot that they've taken. I think it's a fantastic change. Fits in really well with it, and it's not as problematic. I mean, they're still stealing and auctioning it off, but hey, at least it's not a person that they are doing that to. So
right. Yeah. So you were close. That was it was near the top of my list, but it got edged out by the thing that I would ride. If you put me on this ride in the morning and came back and got me at night, I would be completely fine. You both know what it is. It is the Tomorrowland Transit Authority People Mover, aka the Wedway People Mover, aka the thing that Sara would ride until you dragged her off of it if she could. I love it. It is down right now for we don't know how long. It's closed, which makes me so sad. And if they ever take it away, I'll pick it. Like I'll pitch the biggest.
I wonder if they would take. Like, I mean, they took it away in Disneyland. But I feel like I think there would be riots. But then I feel like Disney doesn't really care. Like people got upset about Toad, and they're like, "Oh, too bad. I don't care." Yeah. So
no, I mean,
but see, at least they replaced Toad with something else. I mean,
I think it's 100% possible that they could get rid of it someday.
Yeah, I would be sad if they did. Like, I wouldn't call it one of my favorite attractions, but that is the place where I'm like, I am cranky and I need a break. Like, you go to the TTA. I love it.
And it used to be that there was not a line for it. But the last several times I've been, there's been a crazy line for it. Like half an hour.
Out.
Yes.
But that was a ride that I rode when we went down when I was like 7 months pregnant, and I just needed a place to put my feet up.
Yep.
I rode that, and I just stayed, and I just said, I'm gonna sit here for a while. And there was no lines that didn't make me get off. And I'm like, yep, I'm going around again. And I put my feet on the other one and just sat there. It was glorious. I mean, it's not one of those somewhat air conditioned if you go in.
It is when you go through the inside, yeah. And there's a breeze because you're moving.
Yeah. It's not like a show where it's air conditioned and all that. But I mean, I know it's probably rude to put your feet up on the other seat, but there's no
that's the whole appeal.
Yeah. Now, like I would have sat in a show, but there I couldn't put my feet up. My very swollen feet. I wanted them up.
Were you guys as upset as I was when they redid it, but they renamed it, rethemed it, and they took away the tracks, like the background tracks, when you would hear Tom Morrow and all of that.
They put it back in.
They put it back in, but it's still not the same. Do you remember? Excuse me, paging Tom Morrow, your party from Saturn has arrived. Please give them a ring. Like, come on. I live for a dad joke.
You still get a little bit of it, like paging Mr. Morrow, Mr. Tom Morrow. Yeah, but they don't have the whole thing anymore. And yes, that did make me very, very sad.
When they redid it, it sounds more like an advertisement for Tomorrowland.
Yeah.
Whereas before it was just
like you were on the subway.
It was like you were on the transit authority. Yeah.
I don't care. I mean, really, I love it. I do love it. It's fun. It's relaxing. You get to, it's beautiful views of the castle when you, I mean, it's going by fast, but
yeah, you can catch a glimpse of the fireworks if you ride it just at the right time. You can sort of, watch the fireworks from it, get some great views of the Tron construction if you're into that kind of thing. Like if you're looking for, that type of information.
A lot of people are. Yeah. A lot of people really want to see the construction.
Well, that makes me really laugh because it's not like it's a new ride. Like you can just Google shots of Shanghai Disneyland and like, okay, great. It's a little bit longer in Florida, but like it's not a brand new ride. Like you want to know what it's going to look like and what it's just go look at the pictures. Like, I have them. I'll send them to you. You want to see? I'll show you.
Yeah. So that's my third. All right, not as much overlap as I thought there was going to be, honestly. Yep. Good job. All right, let's pull up the poll. Let's see what we got. Here we go. Updating it. Okay, still in the lead. Haunted Mansion, number 1 with 38 votes. People Mover has 34 votes currently, and then Splash Mountain has 25 votes currently. So those are the top 3. Ooh, Pirates is right behind it, though, with 24 votes. Very, very close race. 17, Big Thunder Mountain, 7 Dwarfs, only 15 votes. Peter Pan's Flight, 14 votes. I thought Peter Pan would be higher. Yeah. I'm a little surprised.
For the amount of people that wait in line for it, you would assume it would be, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah, so then Carousel of Progress, then Space Mountain, then Jungle Cruise. Another one that I really thought was going to be higher, only 9 votes. And then we're getting way down into single digits. So only thing that has no, let's see, is there anything that has no votes? Tom Sawyer Island, Astro Orbiter, and the Swiss Family Treehouse all have no votes.
Tom Sawyer Island was on my list. I freaking love that thing. I love it.
Treehouse. I enjoy the Treehouse. I do enjoy Tom Sawyer Island. Do not enjoy the Astro Orbiter at all.
Yeah,
I've never been on it.
I literally listed Astro Orbiter and then in parentheses, really? And if so, why?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So they're pretty consistent, though. I'm not surprised. Haunted Mansion, People Mover much higher than I thought it was going to be. You people get me. I appreciate you. And yeah, Splash Mountain. So they pretty much agree with us, I think.
Yeah.
You are our people.
If I did get to pick another one, I would definitely pick Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger Spin. It's my favorite.
So, which brings us to our Patreon extra, which is going to be
tips on getting a high score in Buzz Lightyear.
Yep.
Specifically Walt Disney World. I cannot play it anywhere else. I can only play it at Walt Disney World.
And then I'm also going to ask you to sort of write up a little tutorial for me, and that's going to be our VIP extra. So don't give away 100% of your tips in the Patreon extra. Save one or two for our VIP Patreon members too. So
I've got this one I can save. Okay.
Yeah, save one. Save the real,
the best one, the $10 billion one.
Yeah, save the what, the really, yeah. So if you are a Patreon supporter, you can get the bonus content. Podcast content will come up next. If you are one of our VIP Patreons who are supporting us at the $10 or $15 a month level, that next email comes out on September 1st. We also have, should we talk about what I've been working on this morning? Should we hint at it? Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys have been asking for it. We've been working on it. We are about to come out with our first item of Disney Park Princess merchandise. So
merch.
OMG. We have Disney Park Princess merch. So we have just one item so far. It will be live. It's actually technically live now, but I ordered one and I want to see it in person first before we start promoting it to you guys, because I want to get my hands on it. And unfortunately, that's going to take a couple weeks. So you're just going to have to be satisfied with that for now. But the goal is we have White Onion for sure, and then I'm working on 2 others that we're going to have as well. So coming by mid-September, you should have a way to display your Park Princess fandom. I know you guys have been asking for this. So stay tuned. We'll release more hints about what's coming.
And let us know what you would like to see, because if it's feasible, we'll do it. But
yeah. Yep. We have the option to do sort of multiple things, apparel and accessories and all that kind of stuff. So we have a shop set up with a website that we've partnered with. And I'm super excited because I think, and the designs are, the designs can be changed. Right now, it's just me, and I'm not a graphic designer. So
yes,
my next career. Since this travel agency thing is going so well. No. Anyway, all right. So that does it for episode 95 of the Disney Park Princess podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Next week, which park do we want to do next week?
Epcot.
Epcot.
We should do chronological, and
okay.
Also
right.
I love Epcot.
All right. So coming up next week, our favorite attractions at Epcot. Keep an eye on the Disney Park Princess Facebook group for next week's poll. I'll put it up a couple days ahead of time so that you get a chance to vote and let us know what your favorite attractions are. Speaking of Epcot, I'm dying to know when Remy is going to open. Ratatouille was supposed to be open by the end of this year, but now I'm hearing rumors that it could be delayed into 2021. I'm hoping that's
we may have to redo this particular episode when that opens, because I guarantee
it might change. Well, or next week's particular episode. Yeah. We might have to redo that. Yeah. All right. So that's it. Visit us on Facebook. We have a Facebook page where you can like. And then we have a Facebook group, which you can join and participate in all kinds of discussions. You can always reach us at info@disneyparkprincess.com. You can visit our website at disneyparkprincess.com. Sharla has a new blog up about how to stay fit while you're on vacation, because she's into that kind of thing.
I'm not looking at exercise, but For those of you that are, it's very informative.
It's very
you guys have both been with me many, many times with all my running gear, and I have laid it out. And then have I ever gone for a run while I'm there? I have, but
Charlotte
I
likes
haven't seen Heather work out on vacation. So
you've seen me work out, in my bare feet in the hotel room. But Sharla likes to say to me, "Are you bringing your workout clothes?" And I'm like, "I wasn't going to." And she's, "Oh, I'm going to pack my running shoes." So she guilts me into packing all of my workout gear, and then we never work out. So
next time.
I never even pretend I'm going to.
No,
so.
I do. I do the yoga classes when they offer those. I do the yoga classes. Yeah. That's about as fitnessy as I will get at Disney.
So check out that blog, as well as, of course, all of the other. We have, I think, over 100 blog posts on the blog right now. Next week is kind of a big week for us. It's actually our 2nd anniversary.
Happy birthday to us.
So happy 2nd birthday. We'll be talking about that and a bunch of other fun stuff. So talk to you next week. Bye, guys.
Bye.